Hi everyone, Gary Coleshill here, and welcome to the Ultimate Phone Sales System for WFG Associates. We will be getting started shortly. Hi everyone, Gary Coleshill here, and welcome to the Ultimate Phone Sales System for WFG Associates, and we will be getting started in just a few minutes. If you could do me a favor, you'll see a Q&A box, should be on the top left of your screen. If you could just use that and type in the words, well, just the word, I guess, okay, if you can hear me clearly. And if you can see the PowerPoint, that would be incredibly useful. Thanks. Great, looks like everything's set, so let's get started. And firstly, a few housekeeping issues. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have towards the end of the webinar, so please write them down and hold them till then. Now, my intention today is not to change or replace what you're doing already. If it's working for you, keep doing it. But I want to give you some extra tools and techniques to help you get more appointments and ultimately to close more sales. Now, firstly, I want to give you a quick schedule of today's chat. Hopefully that will come through shortly on the PowerPoint. Let's have a look. There we go. Now, we're going to start off with a quick intro why you should even bother to listen to me. Hopefully I'll give you some reasons why you should. Secondly, we're going to talk about one of the biggest challenges that we all have today on the phone, which is namely dealing with voicemail. Then we're going to speak about briefly about call reluctance. Then we're going to move on to knowing who to call. Very important. Sounds obvious, but it's incredibly important. Then we're going to talk briefly about getting past the gatekeeper, working with automated phone systems, how to increase your business today immediately using social media, how to write a killer phone presentation. I'm going to give you a quick outline on my main program that I do because I have to pay the bills and feed the kids and feed the dog, etc. So we'll run through that quickly as well, and then after that we'll take questions. So in effect, let's get started. Let's change the screen here. Now, salespeople struggle in their business basically because of an inability to set appointments. This one area alone is holding back pretty much every other area. Obviously, if we have more opportunities to present our products and services to more prospects, we're going to close more sales, and of course, we're going to make more money. Now, after this webinar is over, you're going to know more about setting more appointments and phone selling than 99% of your competition does. And at the end of the webinar, I'm going to tell you how you can get free copies of 4 of my most popular reports. And they are, let's change the screen here. Oop, that went wrong. They are technological difficulties for a second there, so bear with me. Things not to say at any cost if you want to make a sale, the top 12 ways to hit and even exceed your goals in a recession or a down market, which I think we're still in, getting past the gatekeeper, and learning to love voicemail. Now, these reports are a $25 value each, so their combined value is $100, but at the end of this webinar, I'm going to tell you how you can get them all absolutely free, so make sure that you stick around. I promise you it'll be time well spent. Now, for the past 18 years, I've consistently earned pretty decent six-figure income working with top national speakers such as Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, and Tom Hopkins, and many more, of course. And I say this not to brag, but just to give you some idea of my background. Now, I came to the US in the early 1990s with my wife and my son, the family dog, and very little money. Not having had the benefit of a university education, I didn't have much chance of getting a great paying job. So I took a telephone appointment setting job with a company that promoted Tom Hopkins seminars. Now, my first year in the business was pretty horrible. I only earned a measly $27,000. but I needed to make a success out of my new career, so I soldiered on. And determined to be successful, I read lots of books on selling, listened to tapes, and attended seminars. Now, some of the stuff out there is good, but unfortunately a lot of it is total rubbish, written by so-called experts who've never actually used the phone to either sell or to set appointments. And even if they did, it was so long ago as to make what they say totally redundant. I'm talking about people who now are basically gurus who really were selling before cell phones and the internet were around. So quite a long while. I will shorten your learning curve for you. I'll show you exactly how to increase your phone sales and your setting appointment skills in the shortest time possible, because not only do I know what works and what doesn't from experience, but I'm still actually making hundreds of calls every single day. Now, one of the first things that I learned was to study the top producers in the company and do as they did. I asked them for tips, I studied their work habits, I sat behind them when they made calls and made notes on what they said, and more importantly, how they said it. Now, if you want to be successful at something, you want to find someone who's already successful, model them, and do as they do. In other words, you find yourself a mentor and you learn from them. And if you like what you hear on this webinar, I'd like to be that mentor for you, particularly obviously in the phone arena. Anyway, by following the mentor philosophy, pretty soon my sales did start to pick up, and I edged my way up the sales charts in the office, and within just a few short months of really applying myself, I was the #1 salesperson in that company. Finally, I was making that magical $100,000 figure every year, and often quite a bit more. Learning how to use the phone effectively has provided me with a very nice standard of living, and it really can for you too. All that you have to do is take this business seriously, study it, obviously study the right material, and apply what you've learned. And for years I've had promoters and sales training gurus trying to get me to spill the beans and tell them my secrets, and I've always refused, because I've worked very, very hard and spent countless hours of trial and error learning what works and doesn't, simply from attrition, and I'm certainly not going to give it away to my competition for free. So I'd like for you to keep what I share with you today between you and this group. These secret phone strategies are for you to utilize and profit from, so don't share them with anyone else. Send them to the webinar instead. Keep them for yourself and use them to build your own business. Now, I've decided to reveal these secrets and techniques that I've learned over the years that have helped me to earn a pretty substantial income, so that you won't have to go through the same painful learning process that I had to. So let's get started and let's change screens. Now, I recently authored a poll on LinkedIn, which many of you may have seen and some of you may have taken. And the main poll question was, what is your major constraint that is holding you back from setting more appointments? And the most popular answers in order were dealing with voicemail, followed closely by call reluctance, knowing who to call, and getting past the gatekeeper. Now, firstly, we're going to speak about and chat about dealing with voicemail. Now, according to our poll, salespeople in general rate this as being their greatest barrier to success at setting appointments and making sales. It's very hard to do either when you can't actually ever seem to get hold of a live human being. To many salespeople, voicemail is the curse of using the phone and appointment setting. Prospects hide behind it, and they seem to never actually answer the phone. But put yourself in the prospect's shoes for just a moment. People are busier than ever. They have more and more companies trying harder and harder to get their attention, so they use voicemail as a tool to screen out the continuous barrage of marketing that they face every single day. They simply don't have time to listen to every single sales pitch from every Tom, Dick, and Gary. Now, this gives you a glimpse into the mindset of the prospect and will enable you to structure your approach to them more effectively. And this is precisely where most sales training misses the boat, because it's taught like it's a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, and it really isn't. In my phone sales program, I'll show you how to dig deeply into the mindset of your prospect. When you do that, you're able to speak to them on their level. You start doing that effectively, you'll be able to totally crush your competition. But for now, I'm going to share with you an overview of the framework that will help you use voicemail to get your calls returned and will help you get your prospect on the line the next time that you call. Now, most salespeople just leave messages and no one ever calls them back. And if you've been working on the phone or using the phone for any period of time, you'll know just how frustrating that can be. Well, fret no more, because you can use voicemail as a tool to make yourself stand out from other salespeople, build stronger relationships with your prospects, get more callbacks, and of course, ultimately close more sales. So I'm going to teach you some very powerful psychological triggers and advanced language patterns that will actually get prospects to call you back. How about that? A regular message leaving your name, your company, and your phone number is just not going to cut it anymore, because all you do is just lump yourself in there with every other sales guy trying to get your prospect's attention, and guess what? No one's ever going to call you back. Now, the secret of getting calls returned is to use what I like to call my voicemail triad approach, and it says that prospects will only call you back for one of three reasons. Now, the first reason is curiosity. Basically, you pique their interest, you intrigue them, and you make them eager to know why you're calling. Therefore, they will call you back. Secondly, good old-fashioned greed. You offer them something they want, you dangle a carrot under their noses, and you make them eager to get it. Therefore, again, they will call you back. Now, to give an example, greed has been used very, very successfully by the timeshare industry for many, many years. And basically the way it works for the timeshare industry is they offer you something pretty appealing for nothing in order to get you to call them back and to take the tour of the timeshare resort. Now think about this. Very few people, if any, get up in the morning and say, hey, I think I'll go and buy a timeshare today. They might get up and say, hey, I think I want to go and buy an iPod or a flat screen TV, but timeshare, unlikely. And yet the timeshare industry is very, very successful, and they get lots and lots of people, probably tens of thousands every year, to call them back by offering them something for nothing. To give you an example of what they offer, I mean, I'm sure you've been on the receiving end of these calls, but they'll offer you a weekend for two in Vegas at one of their resorts, or weekend in Sedona, free meal for two at a nice restaurant, which also happens to be at one of the resorts, etc. And even despite their misgivings, people every year, a lot of people, call back, and they basically are tempted by these free offers. That's a good example of greed on the voicemail. Thirdly, familiarity. Now, I know this is pretty obvious, but if they know you, they like you, and they trust you, chances are they will call you back. But take this to the next level. You get a good referral, and if they know and like and trust the person that referred you to them, again, the chances are pretty good that they will call you back. And in my program, I'll share with you how to develop these three secret techniques to get your calls returned and give you powerful voicemail scripts and strategies, including one that studies have shown to have a whopping great 62% response rate. In fact, I'm going to give you that one right now, so grab a pen and a piece of paper and write this one down. And while you're doing that, I'm going to grab a quick sip of my tea here. Okay, ready? Here we go. Now, here it is. Carefully note the inflection, very important, and the deliberate pauses. You want to give as little away as possible with this script. This should be delivered in a monotone style, again, to not give anything away. Hi, it's Gary Coleshill. I was hoping to catch you in your office for just a minute or two. I'll be in my office today until 4 p.m. and tomorrow from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. I have a question that, and here you pause, well, pause again, only you can answer. My number is, and here you make sure that you give them your cell phone number so that you can pick up when they call back. 480-607-0294. Thank you. Now, it's absolutely imperative that you do pick up when they call back. If they go into your voicemail or just hang up, you'll have missed your chance. You're dead in the water. Now, this is a gutsy script that takes some nerve to use, but used correctly will get you astonishing results. But be prepared, though, for some prospects to be a little bit ticked off when they realize that it's a sales call. You just have to charm them around by being super friendly. In my early days, I used this technique a lot, but I don't use it as often now as I'm nearly always on the phone, and I can't always pick up anyway when they return the call. Now, I guess it's pretty obvious, but this technique will only work if the prospect is not familiar with who you are. So, anyway, out of the 3 voicemail reasons for calling back, which would be curiosity, greed, and familiarity, which one do you think this script falls under? If you could type it into the text box, I'll let you know if you're right. Yep, Mitchell's just typed in one. Quite right, Mitchell, it is. It's curiosity. Good job. Now, anyway, let's move on to call reluctance, which according to our poll is the second greatest barrier to success. Now, we all know that the more calls that we make to qualified prospects, the more appointments we'll set and the more sales we'll make. Pretty simple, isn't it? Well, yeah, it's simple, but unfortunately it's not that easy. Have you ever had a day when the phone handset, if you're still using handsets, I guess, I'm using a headset, feels that it weighs 100 pounds and you can't bear the thought of making yet another call? I'm sure we've all been there. How on earth can you motivate yourself to make the number of calls that you need to make day in and day out to get the kind of results that you need in order to earn the kind of income that you desire and, of course, you deserve? Well, I have some surefire techniques for staying motivated, committed, and focused, so don't spend your day playing catch-up. Learn these techniques and be ahead of the game. Now, here are a couple of things that have always worked well for me. Firstly, it's absolutely crucial to get to know what your numbers are and how they work for you. For example, if the average sale makes you $1,000, but will take on average 100 contacts to get, then every contact you make, good or bad, is worth $10 to you. So make 50 calls, you made $500. Now you can directly see that the more calls you make, the more money you make. In effect, every no that you get brings you that much closer to a yes. Every time someone says no to you, they've just made you $10. Bearing this in mind makes it far, far easier to get through the day and make those calls. Also, you may want to try breaking your day down into several one-hour calling blocks, and this is absolutely what I do. You get hold of a kitchen timer, just a cheap one from Walmart or something. I think mine cost me $10. You set it on your desk, you close your door, and you remove all distractions. Set the timer for 1 hour forward, and for that 1 hour period, resolve to totally focus on just making outgoing calls. That means no checking your voicemail, no checking your emails, and certainly don't return phone calls in that hour. Just totally focus on the task at hand, and when the hour's up, take a walk, read a book, go get something to eat, whatever you need to do to clear your head for 15 minutes or so, then go back to your desk, reset the timer, and do it again. And by calling this way in just several hour of power productive time blocks, you'll be absolutely amazed at how many more contacts you make and how much more productive you'll be. I guarantee you that this technique alone is bound to boost your income. Now, let's move on to the third most popular answer, which is knowing who to call. Now, this is somewhat surprising because it's probably actually the easiest barrier to overcome if you know how and where to look. But unfortunately, I guess obviously a lot of salespeople don't know how and where to look, and they spend most of their time calling unqualified prospects that don't need, don't want, or can't even afford their products or services. And you know, it doesn't matter how many calls you make or how great your presentation is and your closing skills are. If you're calling the wrong people, you'll never make a serious income and you will never earn the kind of money that you want. Now, I will share with you secrets of how to generate leads and effectively prospect that will double and even triple your current pool of qualified prospects. I'm going to show you how to define exactly who your target market is, grab their attention, connect with them on a deeper level, and stand out from every other salesperson that's trying to get through to them. But firstly, I would suggest you do this. Take the time to sit down and try to think, what characteristics i.e. age, business, income, location, etc., etc., your best clients have in common, because it's very likely that 80% of your business comes from just 20% of your clients. So spend some time getting this right, because I promise you it's going to be worth it. Next, use the characteristics that you've identified to try to develop a profile of your ideal client. Okay, now you want to develop a list based on this profile. This will enable you to laser target that 20%. These will be your best prospects. In other words, spend some time thinking about just who buys your product or service, then decide what type of person or company makes the best client for you. Use as many criteria as necessary to create that profile. Next, contact a list broker or a business information company with your client profile. There's plenty of them on the internet, obviously. And I guess if you still use them, they're also in the phone book. I don't know who use phone books anymore, but anyway. You ask them to create a targeted list of possible clients in your market area. Now, in my main program, I'll share with you some of the most effective resources that I've come across over the past 18, 20 years. In the full program, I'll lead you through the exact process of how to build your ideal client profile and use it to create devastatingly effective custom presentations targeted especially to your prospects. But for now, ask yourself these three very, very important questions. Firstly, what common fears and frustrations do your best clients share? This is really important, so I'm going to repeat this. What common fears and frustrations do your best clients share? Secondly, if your ideal clients could wave a magic wand, what parts of their business would they change? Again, if your ideal clients could wave a magic wand, what parts of their business would they change? And thirdly, how can you and WFG be part of that solution? And that's the most important part. How can you and WFG be part of that solution? I'm going to grab some more tea and we're going to move on to getting past the dreaded gatekeeper. I presume that the sound and video is still okay. I guess if they're not, you wouldn't be able to hear me, would you? So, yeah, maybe Mitchell can just post again okay on there. Let me know that everything's working okay. And we'll move on. Let me just grab some tea. Okay, tea break's over. Let's move on. Now, getting past the gatekeeper. Gatekeepers strike fear into the hearts of the most fearless salespeople, and with a very good reason too. They have the power to say no, but unfortunately they don't have the power to say yes to your fabulous offering. And if you can't get past the gatekeeper, the prospect will never get to know how wonderful your product or service is, and you'll probably never make a sale. But don't despair, because the gatekeeper can be somewhat easily defeated when you have some of my techniques at your disposal. Now, here's one of them, which can be especially useful when you don't know the prospect's name. When you call a company and you reach the gatekeeper, don't ask for the prospect. At least never ask if you don't have their name. Ask instead for the human resources department. Now, gatekeepers are used to people calling up asking about jobs, especially in these tough economic times. And they usually put you straight through, no questions asked, if you ask for human resources. So when you get human resources on the line, just ask them to transfer you to the prospect, and they usually will without any hassle. If you don't know the prospect's name, they almost certainly will. Again, they're in human resources, and will probably tell you if you just ask them nicely. Gatekeepers can also be outwitted by something as simple as an online search. So why bother walking into a right hook from a gatekeeper when all you have to do is go online and search the prospect's name and unearth their direct numbers, even their cell phones and their email addresses. If you can't find them with a search, always look for them on Facebook and LinkedIn. Also, you can try using some of the very useful social media search sites that are around. These pop up and disappear all the time, so check these out. Hopefully they're still around. Try using whostalking.com. Kind of looks like who's stalking on the screen there, but it's actually who'stalking.com, and kgbpeople.com. They're very useful indeed, and also who'sthat.com. They're all up on the screen there. I'm sorry, gatekeepers, times have changed, and the person that you're trying to block access to has gone and put all of their contact information out there on the World Wide Web, just waiting to be discovered. What a shame. We don't have to cross swords with you any longer. We can just avoid you. And if the internet search doesn't work, I've developed scripts, techniques, and downright sneaky, very effective strategies and tricks to get you past that gatekeeper virtually every time. If you feel that you could be successful, if only you could get past the pesky gatekeeper, well, guess what? You can be. Gatekeepers are history. Now we're going to move on to another topic, which is working with automated phone systems. Now, this is a lot more fun than it sounds, actually. Most company voicemail systems work off of preset commands, much like computers do. No surprise, they're usually computerized. And this is the great part. If you can work out just what those commands are, you can often use the system to get directly to the decision maker without encountering the gatekeeper or any screening at all. Pretty nifty. You'll have to experiment somewhat, but here are some of the things that I've come across. Firstly, the star key operates a bit like the escape key does on your computer. If you press it before the beep on a greeting, you'll usually hear a different set of instructions than if you press it after the beep. Sometimes just pressing the star key will get you a set of instructions that lead you directly to the prospect's extension. Now, the pound key can get you certain results too. Often it will get you a names directory, as can 411 or 555. But sometimes you need to press several keys. Some systems don't respond to just pressing star. But don't worry though, press star and then 8, and you should get a prompt asking you to enter the extension that you want. If you then follow with star 8, you should get the names directory. Pretty good stuff. Now, I've lots of other tips and tricks in the main program to navigate these systems with ease. And once you're able to do that, you can often totally avoid the receptionist and the gatekeeper and get straight through to the prospect without any screening at all. And don't worry if it sounds a little bit complex, because in the main program I do have a cheat sheet with most of the commands that work on there. Now we're going to move on to the wonderful world of social media. Now, social media, as I'm sure you already know, is a total game changer, and I do cover the main social media platforms, which I think are LinkedIn, Facebook, maybe Plaxo, and definitely Twitter, in the main program. I also cover some of the lesser ones, which are pretty useful too. Viadeo is one as well that you can always use. There's Names, there's Zing, there's quite a few others. But for now, I want to give you a few good quick tips on how you can start to increase your income today, right now, using social media. Now, firstly, join 50 groups on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn groups are great. They're all types. There's geographic networking groups, group for different professions, companies, industries, hobbies, you name it, there are groups for it. So pick the ones that your best prospects would belong to and join them. Don't pick the ones that your peers belong to, that's pointless. But pick the ones that your best prospects would belong to and give it a bit of thought and join them. Now, the great thing about groups is that for the most part, you can directly email other members in that group. Don't overdo it though, because then LinkedIn would kick you off. But if you keep it to a reasonable level, you can certainly utilize this benefit. Not only that, but you can also post your sales message on the discussions page or the notice board or promotions page so that all of the group members can see it. That way, you get your marketing messaging out to a large number of potential clients all at once. What better way to find qualified prospects and directly contact with them quickly and easily? Now, many profiles on LinkedIn have phone numbers on them as well, so you can also develop a telephone campaign for the group. And it's pretty easy, and I've done this many times, to call up prospects when you have a nice intro like, "Hi, Mr. Prospect, we both belong to the XYZ group on LinkedIn." Now, LinkedIn currently allows you to join 50 groups, so I would highly recommend maxing out and joining all 50 that you can. When you've exhausted all possibilities with one group, simply leave it and join a new one. There are so many, you can keep going forever. So that's groups on LinkedIn. Next, my favorite social media tool, use the LinkedIn bookmarklet. This is a kind of neat little app, basically, that's provided by LinkedIn. Now, what you do is you go to the bottom of your LinkedIn homepage, go to the Help Center, and search for the bookmarklet. Then install it on your bookmark toolbar. Now, as I say, this is one of absolutely probably my favorite social media tool, because basically what it does is enable you to share a web page that you're looking at with your connections or your groups and post it to Twitter at the same time. When you see an interesting web page that you want to share, just click on the bookmarklet and a LinkedIn box will pop up asking who you want to share it with. Now, I generally go with sharing it with my groups in order to get maximum exposure for my marketing message. Now, when you click to share the link, it's going to appear on the discussions page of every group that you select. And you can also include a personal message. It's pretty powerful stuff. I often use it to send people to different pages on my website when I have something that I want to promote. For example, with the webinars, I send them to the webinar registration page. It's truly an excellent way to get your message out to potentially tens of thousands of qualified prospects in just a few minutes. It's really that easy. Now, my third social media tip is to use Open Networker /top link. Now, Open Networker has a service which will very, very quickly indeed expand your list. They do charge for it, not very much, but it's $9.95 a month. They do, I think, another plan for $40 a year. Now, basically, they'll give you access to large lists of open networkers, or lions, which are LinkedIn open networkers. They're people who accept every invitation without reporting to LinkedIn, which is good. All of the majors are included on there. You've got huge lists of people that are open networkers on Facebook, LinkedIn, again, even the minor social media sites. So basically, you can invite any of them to join your network, and just by being on the list yourself, you'll be absolutely inundated by invites. And even if the people that you connect with are not necessarily good prospects for you and your business, they may well know someone that is. So definitely expand your list as far as you can. It works great. In the first 24 hours of using it, which was a couple of years back, I actually had a couple of hundred people to LinkedIn alone. And I've been using it now probably for maybe about 2 years. And I now have almost, I think I'm just shy of 20,000 direct connections. So very, very useful indeed. I would certainly recommend using it for at least a couple of months to get your list built up. So there you go. There's some quick tips on how you can start to increase your income immediately using social media. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, which is where I want a little bit of feedback here from you guys as well, is how to write a killer phone presentation. Now, firstly, what you have to do is decide the goal of your call. This is crucial. Is it to get a sale, or is it to set an appointment? Once you've decided what your goal is, you need to totally focus on that in your presentation and not deviate from it. Now, you've got the prospect on the phone, so what do you say? Well, you start, obviously, by introducing yourself. And if you have a connection, this is where you use it. So use any connections you have, no matter how vague it is. Because trust me, it's better than nothing. So we start with something like, "Hi, Mr. Jones, my name is Gary. We're members of the same bowling club, LinkedIn group, or ideally I was referred by your brother. So far, so good." Now, this is where it gets interesting. You introduce your business with a major benefit. So, for example here, I'm with XYZ Company, we are the people. So we are the people that what? And this is where you insert the major benefit of the prospect doing business with you and WFG. Now, for example, I'll give you my own one here. I'm with Coldsteel & Associates. We're the people that can show your sales team how to increase the amount of appointments they set and make more sales over the phone. I'll give you another example here, which is, where's this one from? This is actually for Legal Shield, used to be Prepaid Legal, which I wrote with one of their area managers. We're the people who can cut your legal costs and protect you from costly and time-consuming lawsuits for less than the cost of a cup of coffee per day. So I think you're starting to get the gist of it here. Here's one that we did for AFLAC. I'm with AFLAC. We are the people that can help you save money on your payroll taxes, implement a great employee benefit package, and help you retain your best employees without it costing you a dime. So, what would your benefit statement be? What would your We Are the People statement be for WFG? While you're thinking about that for a minute or two, I'm going to grab some more tea. Okay, any input here? What would your benefit statement, what would your We Are the People statement be for WFG? Nobody? I would have thought that it would be something similar to the AFLAC one if you're going to employ it as, to give you a clue, if you're going to use it really as an employee benefit program. So, we are the people that can help help your employees what? We are the people that can help you what? Come on, you must have some ideas on this. What would the main benefits of working with WFG be? Okay, nothing, all right. Okay, you're a quiet bunch, aren't you? Okay, all right, there you go. Mitchell's just put improve their benefits and lower the cost. Okay. Are you talking about a general benefit package? Because then you really could kind of take some pointers from the WFG, from the AFLAC presentation, though I'm presuming, I may be wrong here, that it wouldn't lower their payroll taxes. So we could have, we are the people that can implement a great employee benefit package and help you retain your best employees without it costing you a dime. You could take that part of it. How's that? Does that sound good? Let's do that again. We are the people. I'm with WFG. We are the people that employ a great employee benefit package and help you retain your best employees without it costing you a dime. Don't think that's too bad. Any other comments on that? No? Okay. So then we move on to the next part of the script, which is I'd like to show you, and notice that we say show, which deflects the send me information stool. I'd like to show you how it works. It will only take about 15 to 20 minutes. Are you available on Tuesday at 10 or Wednesday at noon? And that's basically all there is to it, except for any objections you might hear. And they're, of course, covered in the main program. So remember those steps. We'll run through this again. Intro, connection, benefit statement, we are the people, close. And that's pretty much it. The most important part of this whole process is, of course, the benefit statement. So obviously think about that very carefully. Now, let's just run through that once more. Let's go through the whole thing. Hi, Mr. Jones. My name's Gary. I'm with WFG. Oh, well, Mr. Step there myself. Hi there, Mr. Jones. My name's Gary. We're both members of the same bowling team. I'm with WFG. We are the people that can help you to implement a great employee benefit package and retain your best employees without it costing you a dime. I'd like to show you how it works. Are you available on Tuesday or Friday? Saying it'll take about 15 minutes. That's pretty much it. Now, if you're talking to an individual, then obviously you're going to do that a little bit differently. So it has the same basic structure. So it'd be, hi, Mr. Jones. My name's Gary. I was referred to you by Jim Smith, your neighbor. I'm with WFG. We're the people that can help you to obtain affordable health insurance and protect your family in the future against unforeseen eventualities or something like that. It's not really a lot different. The benefit is still pretty much the same, except you're not going to be talking about employees in this case. So any questions on that or any more comments? Right, I'm just going to wrap up and just tell you about the program quickly, and we'll let you go. So there you have it. Now you can avoid the frustration of dealing with voicemail. You can actually get prospects to return your calls. You'll learn how to keep motivated, avoid burnout, and stay focused on making the calls that you need to make in order to get the kind of results that you want. Discover how to stop wasting time on deadbeats who don't want, don't need, or can't afford your product or service, and instead find qualified ones that have the need and the money. Let me teach you how to get past the gatekeeper to present your product or service directly to the decision maker who has the power to not only say no, but also to say yes. Find out the secrets of navigating automated voicemail systems to get directly to your prospect and learn how to use social media to explode your business in the next 12 months. Now learn all of these solutions and much, much more in my new 4-part online training program, which consists of 4 training modules. So for those of you who want to take your business to the next level, let's talk about quickly what you'll get with my program. Then I'll let you go. So as I explained earlier, it is divided into 4 modules. Module 1 is laying the foundation for dramatic phone sales acceleration and covers your ideal client profile, the ultimate phone sales mindset, designing your business persona, managing your time for peak phone production, the ultimate voicemail strategy, voice quality dynamics, we talk about tonality, your opening statement, and traits and habits of top sales pros. Module 2 is communicating as a world-class sales professional, getting past those gatekeepers, working with automated phone systems, building a pipeline of future sales leads, building rapport and trust, and identifying hot buttons and verbal cues. Pacing and leading for phone sales, voice quality dynamics, we deal with voice inflection, and question strategies. Now, Module 3 is mastering advanced communication skills, advanced language patterns, handling objections, the art of reframing, closing the sales and setting the appointment, and stick strategies, which is how to minimize cancellations. Module 4, final module, is making the shift from phone sales to entrepreneur, and it covers using social media to generate more leads, writing emails that get results, how to use autoresponders, and how to construct an effective structured referral system. Now, this program normally sells for $150 per module, making it a total investment of $600 for the whole program. But today, I'm going to make you a very special offer indeed. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to give you the opportunity to invest in this program for a special rate of just $97. So that's it, $97, is saving you over $500 off the normal price. Now, about those free reports that I mentioned earlier, as an added bonus for registering in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to throw all 4 of them in too. So that's a free copy of each of the following: things not to say at any cost if you want to make a sale, the top 12 ways to hit and even exceed your goals in a recession, getting past the gatekeeper, and learning to love voicemail. So that's a $100 value, absolutely free. So that's extra $100 worth of free training for registering in the next 30 minutes. So that's $700 worth of training for just $97. So this is actually an 8-week course, so the investment works out at just $1.75 per day for this package. Can you really afford to miss out on this valuable information for less than the price of a cup of coffee per day? And to make this even more of a no-brainer, it's covered also by my money-back satisfaction guarantee, which gives you a 1-week trial period to check out Module 1 And if you don't feel that it's worth the entire investment in the program, you can get a full refund, no questions asked. So I'm going to put up the link on the screen here. There we go. If I can just get to the next. There we go. It's a little bit faint. So go to the link that's shown on the screen and click on it to register. It's a little bit faint. It's actually www.succeedinsales.net. Go 3. If you can see that clearly. And now you have the opportunity to learn the same skills that took me 2 decades to learn in just a few short weeks, and start to enjoy all of the benefits that being effective on the phone has to offer. Or of course you can go at it on your own, continue to lose sales in the process, and struggling to make just a fraction of what you could be earning if you had this valuable information. So go to that link right now to reserve your spot. And I've been in both places, and I'll tell you, this type of training was available when I first got started, particularly the first year I was getting killed in the business. I would have paid pretty much anything to get my hands on it. It's that valuable to what you do. And if you think about this for just a moment, the total investment for the program is probably less than you're paying for a tank of gas right now. So with the price of gas so high, doesn't it make sense to do as much business as you can over the phone? I'm going to open up registration for 30 minutes, and once the 30 minutes are up, the bonus programs will no longer be available. So that's it. If you want to register for the main program, go to succeedinsales.net, go 3, and if you have any questions at all, any of you are welcome to give me a call. My toll-free number's on the screen, 888-894-2929. And my email is gary@phonesalesguru.com. And also, if you would like to write out your benefit statements and send them over to me, I'll be happy to review them for you. Again, just email them to gary@phonesalesguru.com. So, do we have any extra questions? Any more questions? If not, we'll just wrap up, I guess. And don't forget to send those benefit statements over to me. And again, if you want to register, the link on the screen is www.succeedinsales.net. Go 3. Okay, that's great. So thank you very much for letting me speak to the group, and I hope you got some useful ideas. And if you have any other questions, let me know. Mitchell's question are the modules actually, Mitchell, are, what's the term? Multimedia. There you go. Every module is available online in a members area, and it's available in video, it's Flash and QuickTime, so you can watch them online or you can download them. Every single module has a transcript in PDF, and they're also available in MP3s. The idea being is you can access them 24/7 and you can download any of the parts that you want. And obviously, if anyone wants to register, there's no risk. Say it's satisfaction guaranteed. You get a week to check out Module 1. If you don't think it's absolutely the greatest thing since sliced bread, refund your money, no questions asked. That's pretty much it, really. So, how long do we get modules? Yeah, you can download any of them. And basically, you have unlimited access. Every so often, the passwords get changed, but if you ever have any challenges getting in, just email me. I'll send you the new passwords. You can get it all at one time, but the way that it works is that usually I send them out every 2 weeks to give people a chance to go through them. So you get access to Module 1 immediately when you register. 2 weeks later you get Module 2, 2 weeks after that Module 3, 2 weeks after that Module 4. If you want them in a different kind of order, you could certainly get them at once. The only thing is I don't send out the other modules to the guarantee period's passed. Otherwise I'd be giving the whole system away for free. That's not a good idea. But after the 1 week period has passed, yeah, you can have the rest of the modules, not an issue at all. That's about it, really. So I hope that answers your questions. They're available, as I say, 24/7. You can take them whenever you like. Download them, play around with them, etc., etc. So that's it. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you I hope you enjoyed the session. And any questions, let me know, and I'll speak to you soon. Oh, referral code GC12. The referral code for the extra free book is GC12. Okie dokie. Thanks very much. Thanks, everyone, and bye for now.